welcome to episode 12 of Newysports TV. I'm Ty Stedman, wearing a Kahibah shirt tonight. I did have, always go off topic at the start of the video, I did have a very obnoxiously red Wallsend jacket on, but I can tell you right now, looking at this screen mirror image, this looks really red, so I'm not going to wear it. I don't really need a jacket in a 20-degree night. Let's get into the action this week. 5 games, 5 times 4, 20 games across 2 days in the new FM League. I will not have results from the WPL or NPL Youth. I did not look them up yet, so apologies to that, but let's get straight into it. Last week, a big thank you to all the people, 800 or so, that watched the 125 years of Wallsend Derby history video. Definitely the best, in my opinion, the best work I've done since starting Newysports around this time last year. I don't think I've done anything better than that. This camera's a little bit... no, definitely my best work, I believe. I really enjoyed making that, and you will see more in-depth videos across the season, including Kahibah versus Belswans next week, the top of the table game, and really looking forward to that one. Just checking a message, and then we'll get straight into it. This is good. You would have seen today there's definitely some potential to make some interesting posters. There was a poster I made today about Giles Boyd at Cookshill, #control. Spending some time just mucking around and making posters and maybe a couple videos, taking the piss really. It's something that I feel like could be done a little bit more. Newysports, it's not your typical... this iPad is possessed, I believe, tonight. It's just scrolling whenever it wants. Let's just get straight. Let's just go on off topic. There will be posters, there will be videos, all that crap at a later date. The Wallsend Derby. First grade. West Wallsend 2 defeated by Wallsend FC 3. Big crowd at Johnston Park, not Johnston's. I was saying that a lot on the microphone. It was good to do the PA music. It was a really great day out at West Wallsend. The Red Devils took the lead through Dave Hodgson. The experienced attack putting them ahead after just 3 minutes. And yeah, the lead was doubled by Hodjo getting his second goal 26 minutes in. At this point it looked like it was going to be 3, 4, 5-0 to Wallsend, but Westie held their own, and they'd scored 2 goals, a penalty to Ty Jones, and then 2 minutes later, first yawn of the night, there'll be a few of those, 2 minutes later another goal to Ty Jones. His second goal putting Westie level, and the drama was brilliant. Every single goal was just passion and derby mayhem, you know. A goal in the derby is a big thing, I believe, and the second half wasn't as entertaining as the first, I'm not going to lie. The eventual winner coming from Chris Gazzard, the Wallsend captain. He played a very good game, one of the best on ground, and gave them a 3rd straight derby win in the new FM competition. A pretty decent win by Wallsend, but definitely they're still not at their best. Nowhere near their best this weekend or last against Cookshill. I don't want to say they parked the bus at the end of the game, but they definitely didn't look like they wanted to kill it off. And in saying that, West Wallsend, they needed to show more urgency than what they did. It wasn't enough. In my mind, if you're down 3-2 in a derby with 3 minutes to go, you should be throwing everything forward. Bailey Cox missed a chance late on, a very good chance. He also had a superb free, I can't stop yawning, this is bad. A superb free kick saved by Luke Jennings late in the game. Just Westy didn't do enough and Wallsend came away with the win. West Wallsend 1 defeated by Wallsend FC 2 in the under-23s fixture. It was always going to be a tough game for Westy. 23s have been out of form at the start of the season, but they definitely put in a decent effort. Jai Blanche put them ahead in the 10th minute. Next notable event of the game came 19 minutes later when Gotcha Abshalava was shown yellow for a fairly poor challenge. He made up for it moments later, sending a curling shot, a free kick. Zach Oliveri had a horrible moment in goals. Fumbled the ball and went straight between his legs. Not much I can say about that. Not what you want to do as a goalkeeper and an equaliser for Abshalava. Wallsend came out looking the better side in the second half. Chance to Jason Zekel wasn't converted, but a goal to Trent Richards, scoring his third goal in 2 games, put them ahead, and they would hold on despite Ethan Brogan getting sent off for a high-footed challenge. Red Devils came away with a win. Another loss for Westy. That's a few losses now. That's 4 losses, 3 losses. Not. I should check, but I can't because I got this up and I can't look at the ladders. But anyway, I think they've lost all 4 games. But definitely something to work on for West Wallsend. A very big scoreline in the under-19s, pardon me for a sec. West Wallsend 7 defeating Wallsend FC 3. A 10-goal game in the under-17s. And this scoreline doesn't lie, this was put the words together, as one-sided a game as you can see in the first half. But to their credit, Wallsend came back in the second and put 3 goals in. They were down 6-0 at half-time. There's no way back from there in my opinion. Cooper Smith scored the first goal, a header off a free kick in the first 3 minutes. Handy build-up work from Josh Knight, earning a foul. Greg Mason doubled the lead. Sam Jones scored in the 21st minute. And then it went really south really quickly for an injury-plagued Wallsend side. Greg Mason scored his second in the 24th. Matt Turner made it 5-0. And that was inside 25 minutes. 5-0 inside 25 minutes. Perfect football from the Bluebells. Josh Knight worked hard all half and he found the post a couple times, but he was rewarded 2 minutes from time with a goal. 6-0 at the break. 90 getting on the score sheet. Wallsend came out a better side. Tyrone Sheamer and Taylor Hepburn getting goals. Sam Jones would kill the game off. It was 6-2. Maybe should pick a better word there. The game was we already killed off, but made it 7-2. Final goal of the game coming from Jake Sully for Wallsend, back from injury fairly quickly, to be honest, after going off last week with a pretty bad looking leg injury. Westy go top of the table in the 19s, but Wallsend, there's not much you can say about this. This team is plagued by injuries. There's no excuses though. You can't be down 6-0 at half-time. Let's be honest about that. That's not what they would have wanted, even with the team they had on the park. They got 11 players out there. You shouldn't be down 6-0 at the break, but very tough situation for the 19s at Wallsend at the moment, and it'll be good to see a few of their players come back in the next couple of weeks. Under 17s, West Wallsend 2 defeating Wallsend FC 0. This was a very decent match. Both of these teams were really pumped up for this game, Westy especially. I don't know if the video had a lot to do with that, I think it did. Wallsend started in a defensive fashion. Here I am saying they were pumped up, but they started defensively. They were struggling with clearances, but once they got flowing, they definitely looked like a good side. Josh Snedden was required to make a couple early saves, one crucial early save. Westy was struggling to deal with the Wallsend attack. Mercedes, especially, just really technical player. Josh Brunette was playing well down the flank, causing trouble in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the game. Westy weren't letting them dictate the terms though. Tom Mear looking like a very good player, threatening every time he had the ball. Kai Drayton came on and had a chance to score. Jackson Manning was good for Wallsend in the defensive line, as was team captain Darcy Hall, and his brother Angus Hall also coming off the bench and playing a bit more of a physical game than he did against Cooks Hill last week. First goal of the game came right on half time, cruelly. Wallsend did a lot of good work defensively, but Brock Taylor scored a goal from 30 or probably 30 metres out, not 40 metres out, but a very, very good stunner of a goal, and Brock giving the side the lead right on half time. Jared Hayter scoring a second goal early in the second half. Josh Brunette went off injured for Wallsend. That's the last thing they need, is any more injuries to their younger players. Solid work at the back from Callum Melville and Braden Shoemaker, and a clean sheet for Josh Snedden. A very good day for the Westie Bluebells. Wallsend, inexperienced, they've still got a lot to look forward to this season. They're getting better every week, and there's definitely something wrong if they don't win next week against a very out of form Cessnock side, in my opinion. But yeah, big thank you to everyone at the derby. It was a brilliant day. One of my favourite days I've had in the whole time of doing this Newysports gig. It was definitely a brilliant day of football, and I mean, the first grade game wasn't the greatest game in history, but it's derby football, and in my mind it doesn't matter if it's a 0-0 draw. Derby football is exactly that. It's passionate, and it definitely was a quality game. There's some hell of a long comment that I'm trying to read here at the moment, but I'm going to go back to the drawing board, if you will, back to reading out the results. You can blame me right now. I shouldn't have done that, because now I have to go find where I was up to. Alright, we move around the grounds now on Saturday. We'll do first grade. Lake Macquarie City 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Defeating Thornton 3. The reason I point out 8 is because the first 3 weeks of this season, you see, even last year, a lot of teams hit 7. 7-0, 7-1, 7-2 is one of my favourites. You don't normally see teams break 7, and Lakes did. They are back. I don't want to say that they're back, like, it's one game. One game. They've had a slow start to the year, but they're back to their free scoring form in this game, and I'm sure most people wearing yellow and blue will hope that that's the same next week up at Singleton. Very crazy game up there last year. Singleton coming away with a win. Let's go into it. The Roosters broke the magical 7-goal mark. I just said that, but Tom Walker opened the scoring. Ben Henry hit back for Thornton, but a hat-trick to the ever-dangerous Sam Walker. He's back, 3 goals, took a 4-1 lead. Sam Walker went off at half-time. I've heard his ankle was black and swollen. That was from their coach, Anthony Richards. Hopefully Sam's back next week. He's too good a player to be missing... not missing games. Let's be honest, everyone's immune to injury, but Sam would be a big out for Lakes. He's their main weapon, and I think everyone realises that. But across the park they've got a pretty decent squad, and they've got some guys coming in that have played NPL level, and they're a serious football club, Lake Macquarie City. Hat-trick in the space of 45 minutes, Sam Walker goes off. I guess his job's done anyway. Mitch Kikzinski scored. I've got to love that name. Sorry to Mitch, I can never get it right. I will one day. Cameron Legay Brereton restored Lake's 3-goal lead. Talon Martin scored for Thornton. Gave them a small hope. I'm losing track of the score. I think at this point it was 6-3, 5-3, something like that. A hat-trick though to Blake Green. Just after watching Sam Walker score a hat-trick, Blake Green thought, why don't I do the same? And he took it into his own hands and scored a hat-trick. A big return to form for Lakes, but Thornton, not sure if they had too many out. I did see the team sheet. I didn't really look at it too much. I probably should have. I probably did. I just can't remember 20 team sheets, but I'm not sure if Thornton had a lot out. I know a couple teams did have a few players out this week, being Easter, but 8-3 is not a pretty look for Daryl McAllister's side, and they'll want to put this behind them sooner rather than later. And let's be honest, their start to the season for Thornton has not been good. I'm not going to lie there. I was definitely thinking this team was potentially a top 4, pushing for top 4. It still might happen. Let's not write them off, but Thornton definitely need to start getting some wins sooner rather than later. South Cardiff 0, defeated by Kahibah FC 3. Let me tell you right now, Kahibah had 4, 5, possibly I think even 6 players out. I looked at the team sheet. They had so many players out, and they still won 3-0. It was a fairly even game. Winston Oku got sent off for South Cardiff. The score was already 1 or 2-0 at this point. I don't have the goal scorers written here, but off the top of my head, Daniel Bartlett got 1. Maybe Matt Lee got another, and Matty Hughes got the last goal, scoring for the 2nd week in a row, the 19 striker. I might be wrong with those goal scorers. Apologise if it wasn't Matt Lee. It might have been one of the other quality players they've got there. I think it was Jared Penfold, actually. That's who I think it was. Quality for Kahibah. And look, they had players out and they still won 3-0. I had a coach from another team, not South Cardiff. I don't think the South Cardiff coach would have said that, but I had a coach from another team say, is there any stopping Kahibah? I'm not sure you can. The form they're in at the start of the year, the team they've got, they're premiership favourites in my mind and a lot of people's minds. And next week, Kahibah versus Belmont-Swansea, I tell you, if you're not doing anything next Saturday, get to Blacksmith's Oval and watch this game, because this is New FM football at its best in 2016. These two teams have started the season in perfect form, and it's going to be a cracker of a game. Talking about Belswans, Belmont-Swansea 3 defeating Singleton 0. Singleton had a tough week, losing Alex Clark and Dylan Schrouder to Adamstown Rosebud. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but it's not pretty the way these guys left the club, and in my opinion, this is my opinion, loyalty's gone out the window with these guys. And I don't want to sound too strong. Let's be serious about that. But I'm definitely on Singleton's side here. I think they've been given the rough end of the stick here, and they've lost 2 good players that they worked very hard to get into the squad, and it's really depleted the squad. They've got a new winger coming in potentially. This wasn't confirmed. This was just a rumour. But yeah, there's 2 very big outs, especially Schrouder, the centre back, very good at directing the younger guys around. Jackson Skinner, the left back, Tyler Felsh in midfield. 2 massive outs for Singleton, but they've still got Stewie Plant, who's a very, very, very good communicator at the back, very experienced player. Singleton will come good, but I'm not going to mix up my words. They've been screwed here. They've been screwed over by these guys that have left the club, from what I've heard anyway. Let's move on from that. Actually, I'll add to that, 2 very, very good additions to Adamstown Rosebuds. I'll say that much. They definitely could have used 1 or 2 extra players to compete with the likes of Magic and whatnot. But NPL money prevails again. Belmont-Swansea 3 defeating Singleton 0. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments for that last bit, and I'm expecting it, and that's my opinion. I'll leave it at that. I say it every week. Is there any stopping Belswans? I said, is there any stopping Kahibah? Kahibah play Belswans next week. Someone's got to stop someone, or maybe it's going to be a draw. Anyway, Belswans, 12 points, 4 wins from 4 games. They can do no wrong. Jamie Hadlow scored just before half time. He's in form. And how about Josh Hall? He can't stop scoring goals, this guy. 2 goals for him. 3-0. Jared Noon scores. I'll get this right. He was the Big Mama's Pizza man of the match. I don't. I think that's their sponsor. If it's not, then I must sound like an idiot. But Belswans, how good are they going at the moment? Let's move on to under 23s. Lake Macquarie City 5 defeating Thornton Redbacks 1. Jacob Robertson opening the scoring for Thornton on 18 minutes. It was always going to be a tough match. Chris Walker hit back for Lakes. 1-1 at the break. And then Lakes just ran away with it in the end. Gabriel Serta scoring. Kane Rogers doubling the lead. Blake Dickinson scoring. And young gun Jimmy Ward scoring a goal, sealing the 5-1 victory. Grand final revenge for the Lakes 23s over Thornton. A scary moment for Jimmy Ward, the young 19th player. 19th player. I believe he had a head collision with the opposition goalkeeper and fainted on the field and was taken away by ambulance. But the news from Lakes is that Jimmy is good. He's good to go, possibly for next week. So that's definitely good news. You don't really want to see that, and that would have been a very scary moment for a few people out there at Macquarie Field. Definitely don't want to see head injuries like that. South Cardiff 2 defeating Kahibah 0. I do have the goal scorers. I forgot to write them down though. But South Cardiff sent me the team sheet, so I'm just going to quickly check my emails and tell you exactly who scored, because let's be honest, that's a big part of what I do. Goal scorers were Jacob Fifield, I think it's Jacob, it just says J here, and Ben McCabe scoring the goals. South Cardiff 23s, 2-0 over Kahibah. A good win for South Cardiff, but Kahibah definitely need more. All the other Kahibah sides are doing very well. The 23s, they don't want to be where they are at the moment. They're last, or second last, or I forget what the table says, but they're without a win yet, and I still think they've got 1 or 2 players to come into the squad. So, and plus first grade had a lot out, so 23s had to fill in for first grade. Tough day at the office for Kahibah again in the 23s. Belswans 3 defeating Singleton 2. Belswans led 3-0 at the break. Goals to Luke Lethbridge, Will McMaster and Raymond Dunn. But Singleton wouldn't die. Derek English scoring 2 goals. Singleton 23s, they're a decent side on their day, and they put in a good effort here, but it wasn't enough. They went down 3-2. Tom Langdon getting the Belswans man of the match. This is funny, I've got the iPad on charge, but the battery is going lower and lower as we speak, so I'm sort of trying to just get a bit of a move on here. Under 19s, might have to take a break to charge the iPad. Under 19s, Lake Macquarie City 2 defeated by Thornton Redbacks 3. This is the result of the weekend. Lakes 19s losing a second straight game to Thornton. I definitely wasn't expecting this, with all due respect to Thornton. This came as a big surprise. Josh Davies opened the scoring and scored again in the 21st minute, penalty, 2-0. Jacob Bartlett made it 3-0, 3 minutes out from half time. 3-0 down at the break. Lakes, they did surge. 2 goals to Josh Richardson gave them hope, but they lost their second straight game. Definitely not what you'd expect from last year's 17s championship team. Big win for Thornton though. This is confidence booster at its very best. I know who they're playing next week, but I can't... they're playing Wallsend at home. So the Redbacks go back to Thornton Park for the first time this year, and the 19s getting their win. And it's good to see, because there was a couple of players in that squad from last year's 17s who didn't win a game all year. Galbraith, Howard, one other that I can think of that I can't think of at the moment, but definitely good for those guys to get their first win, and the Thornton 19s to get their first win of the year. South Cardiff 2 defeating Kahibah FC 1. Big weekend. Lakes and Kahibah getting knocked off in the 19s, Westie going top as a result. No excuses for Kahibah. They did have some players out, and teams do use that as an excuse, but I've seen this team sheet that they had on Friday. Their starting team, you know, Turner, Hind, Flick, Goodacre, Zek, Cooper, Cromartie, Watkins, Chaplin, Wills, Hanson. Yeah, there's a few out, but there's definitely enough talent there to get a result, and they didn't get a result. Some controversy in this game. I'm not going to go into it because I wasn't there. I know that people don't like it when I go into controversial issues that I wasn't there for, but there was a headbutt, there was a send-off, and from what I've been told from someone who doesn't play for either of these teams, the wrong player got sent off. But that's football. I wasn't there, so I can't really comment too much, but at the end of the day, South Cardiff winning 2-1. I should have told you the goal scorers. Bailey Chaplin scored for Kahibah, I know that much. Goal scorers for South Cardiff, Isaac Roman and Aidan Luca. Former Cookers man there. Big win for Southie, and Matt Moncrief's team defeated for the first time this season. Belmont-Swansea 4 defeating Singleton Strikers 3. God, there's some good games out at Blacksmiths the other day. Definitely. Singleton produced a miracle comeback last week and came from 2 goals down to lead 3-2 in this game. A thrilling game this was. Cameron Lodge scored early. Joel Nicholson doubled the lead. He's in such good form, Joel. Singleton can't be written off though. Nathan Hall, another player in form, got 2 goals. Captain Tom Golding making it 3-2. But Belswans wouldn't lay down. Will Dundas, another player in form, and Lachlan McMaster. Belswans, this squad from first grade to 17s, this is the best team in the competition at the moment. And yeah, they won 4-3 in this grade. Will Dundas getting man of the match. And it's going to be a very good game in the 19s next week with Kahibah. Let's move on to 17s. Lake Macquarie City 7 defeating Thornton 1. Thornton's results weren't too bad. There's potential in that squad. I haven't seen them play yet, but I've been given a couple match reports and whatnot, but this was just ugly. Curtis McRitchie got a hat-trick. Caleb Morley-Davies? I think it's Davies. It says Davis here, but it's Caleb Morley-Davies scoring twice. Goals also to Kyson Brown and Alex Matthews. Solid win over the Redbacks. Thornton definitely need to put this behind them and come out next week against Westie. Very tough game against Westie next week. Hopefully they'll do a lot better. Curtis McRitchie, he's in very good form at the moment. Very good player, and I know there's some opposition coaches from another club that he was maybe going to go to. I think most people know who this club is because where was I on Saturday? They were a little bit annoyed that he didn't go there, but he's at Lakes and he's doing the job for Lakes. Good player, McRitchie. South Cardiff 0 defeated by Kahibah FC 5. Goal scorers Kyle Williams ×2, Sebastian Krecker. I was going to message someone and ask for the pronunciation there. Pat Waller. And talking about pronunciation, Callan Brzozowski. Yeah, I definitely have to get a pronunciation on those names before I do the announcements for a Kahibah game, possibly next week actually. Should have the PA system at Belswans, so I'm going to have to get pronunciations, but however you say their names, they're good players, and this was a good win for Kahibah's 17s over South Cardiff. Southie, not a good day. Started the season decently, but hit a bit of a rock in this game, and they'll want to move on. Belswans 4 defeating Singleton 0. Singleton had 1 or 2 that I know of that were definitely out. Goalkeeper Brad Fairclough still out. No excuses though, Belswans too good for them. Mitchell Boyce scoring the opening goal, Rory Madison scoring, and 2 goals to soccer convert Jacob Windsor. He'd never played a game of football before this season, and he now has 4 or 5 goals, so you can't complain with that. Man of the match Jesse Smith for Belmont-Swansea. And again, I've done a couple previews for Belswans Kahibah next week. It is match of the round in first grade 19s and 17s. You can't get much better than that. It's going to be a thrilling set of matches at Blacksmiths next week. The game is at Blacksmiths. Kahibah Oval is closed for ryegrass. I'm not quite sure what that is, to be honest. I'm not much of a grass expert. I think just put something on the field and you can't go on it for a few weeks. The game is at Blacksmiths. That'll be 4 home games in a row for Belswans, make it 5 for the week after. Unofficially they're the home team, but officially Kahibah will be the home team, but it's at Belswans. And yeah, we move on to Sunday's Sunday. This Good Friday really messed me up. I think it's a different day than what it really is. Would have loved to have a game today as well. Definitely next year, 4 days back to back to back to back would have been good. Just the one game on Sunday. Cooks Hill United. I was going to say it's been a long day, but it hasn't. They've just been sitting around doing nothing and then try and film a video. It's not good. Under 17s. Actually, let's start with the under 17s. Cooks Hill United 11, Cessnock City 2. What can I say? This was carnage. Absolute carnage from Cooks Hill. Like nothing I've seen before in this league. I've never seen a team lead at 7-0 at half time, and I've never seen a team... I know there was games last year where teams got double digits. Belswans doing it against Cessnock in the 19s. Same scoreline, 11-2. I've never seen a team lead 7-0 at half time in any of my New FM games that I've been to. This was just completely one-sided. Completely. Caleb Green scored the opening goal in the 10th minute. So then in 70 minutes after that there was 10 goals. Cessnock started decently. They didn't look too bad at the start of the game. They forced a good save from Eamon Doyle, and then it just all went south. Campbell Guest getting Cooks Hill's second in the 18th minute. Penalty the home side moments later, converted by Toby Mellon, who I'm pretty sure is a defender, so that was a little bit strange, but got on the score sheet. 3 goals in around 5 minutes. Bang, bang, bang. Campbell Guest with his second goal, Gilbert Harabakunzi, and then Guest recording a hat-trick inside 25 minutes. I don't want to sound too harsh on the Cessnock defenders, but they were getting toyed with. There's definitely some work to do at training. I don't think you can sugarcoat this, and I spoke to Matt Zeckel, the coach, and understandably disappointed, and it just wasn't good enough. I mean, you can get beat, but you can't get beat like this. Hornets got a penalty and pretty much summed it up. Anyone in the ground probably would have predicted that they'd missed the penalty. That's the football gods for you. Aaron Comerford sending it straight over the crossbar. Cameron Walmsley scoring right on half time. 7-0 at the break. Cessnock City set up a little impromptu training session over the far side of the field. So they were training at half time, and that was very strange to see. I've never seen that happen in any game I've gone to. It did work. They did come out a little bit better in the second half, but still, Guest got another goal. Campbell Guest, that is. Will Forbes gave Cessnock a rare highlight, scoring a goal. Fergus Allen got a 66-minute goal in a quick-fire double, bang bang. I think it was 71st and 73rd minute for Eli Collins. Final goal again coming from Tory Beveridge for Cessnock City. At 7-0, I was thinking, what do I want to say about Cessnock? Because I don't want to. I'm not gonna use the word I was going to originally use here, but I don't want to sound like a insert that word here. It rhymes with tick. I don't want to sound like I'm some sort of, I don't put these guys down. The scoreline did enough. They just weren't up for it on the day. They were outplayed by a better team. Aaron Comerford's free kicks, I tell you what, this guy can take free kicks. From what I saw, that the 2 or 3 that he did take were very good free kicks. They've definitely got individuals in the team who can play well. It's a young team, but really there's no excuses for conceding 11 goals. I'm not going to lie. They know they can't do that, and it's just got to come together a bit more. And you saw their draw with Singleton in round 1. The potential is there to get results. They've just got to sort of step up. Campbell Guest, man of the match, obviously, 4 goals. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Cooks Hill. They've struggled in front of goals. My arm is completely frozen from holding the iPad. Next game, they're expecting Michael Dalton back from injury. Angus Davies, after breaking his arm last week, he was there. Good to see him happy and watching the side and supporting the Cookers. Definitely what you want to see. They had probably 4 or 5 players out. So with 4 or 5 players out, they've scored 11 goals. I'm not going to lie, this team can make the top 4. Most teams would have beat Cessnock the way they played yesterday. And look, my advice to the Cessnock guys, just keep it up, There's going to be tough days, but that's football, and I've been on the end of scorelines like that, and it's not pretty, and that's really all I can say is they're going to have to work hard at training. I think they're going to be put through some sprints. That's what I've heard. That's a bit of a punishment right there, isn't it? But just put it behind you. Cooks Hill's biggest ever New FM win, and one of the biggest ever wins in the history of the club's senior team. Very loud version of the team song, I'll tell you that. Cooks Hill 3 defeating Cessnock 1 in the under-19s. Cessnock, I believe they could win this game. I'm not going to lie, this Cessnock City 19s team, they've got potential this year. Jackson Gosling gave Cookers the lead after a pretty slow start to the game, 30 minutes in for the first goal. Hard work of Cessnock had been undone, but they hit back in the second half. Kyle Gillis, not Gillis, Gillis. Tell me I'm saying that right. The Cessnock guys will know what I mean. Kyle getting another goal. He's in some form at the moment. One of their best players. One of their best players in any grade, in my opinion. A harsh penalty was given against Brendan Zekel. He's getting used to giving away penalties. It could have gone either way, let's be honest. Carlo Prieto, I know I didn't say that right, but Carlo scored from the spot for Cookshill, 61st minute, and then Jackson Graham scored a third to kill the game off. Credit to Cessnock though, they were forced to make subs that they didn't want to make to fill in for the 23s. That's happened a couple times now. They've worked hard, very hard in recent weeks. The results aren't really that bad on paper. This team, next week, they play Wallsend, and in my opinion, they can beat Wallsend. That's what my tip's going to be. I'm going to tip Cessnock 19s to win. They're not very far away from their first win of the season, that's for sure. Defensively, they were decent. They've got some quality attackers and a promising goalkeeper in Brendan Zekel. Decent team. Cookshill's form's been great though, and they move up to equal top of the league. Giles Boyd's side bouncing back from the opening day loss, 3 straight victories now. Jackson Graham, man of the match. Under 23s, Cookshill United 1, defeating Cessnock City 0. Kaya Roth was, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, he was dropped from first grade. I don't want to sound too picky, but it wasn't a surprise. Adam Gunster has been very good for the 23s and deserved a chance in the top grade. Kaya, his start to the season, even he would admit he's not up to what he was last year at this stage, but I think that's a good way to use 23s, is to just maybe not drop, but just place one of your better players in that and try and get them back to some confidence and back into some form. Kaya will play first grade. He is the first grade goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong on that. But he played 23s and he did a decent job. Definitely not his best game though. Sam Garrity for Cessnock. This guy's pretty damn good, I'll tell you that. He's a serious footballer, Sam Garrity. Almost scoring a goal, but Cookshill should have scored if it wasn't for Sam Woods for Cessnock saving the day. Just a brilliant defensive header over the crossbar. Very last lunge really to send it over the bar and stop it from going in the net. Garrity missed a chance late in the second half and the game was destined for 0-0. There was 3 minutes to go and all the hard work of Cessnock went out the window. Jackson Graham scoring, cruelly taking all the 3 points. They didn't deserve to win. I don't think either side really deserved to win. I think this should have been a draw based on what I saw. There was missed chances for both sides. You know, Cessnock had a lot of players out. First grade goalkeeper Matt Zekel was starting as striker, which was an interesting move, but he worked pretty hard. Not as hard as some strikers, but he definitely got potential there. I think he used to play striker, so he definitely knows what he's doing. But yeah, a win for Max Savekli's side. Been pronunciating that wrong all season. They can't complain. The Cookers got the job done in the end. Bit lucky, very lucky. I gave Sam Woods man of the match. It could have gone to anyone really, but I think that save was probably worth man of the match. It was a pretty good save for a defender to make. First grade, Cookshill United 7 defeating Cessnock City 4. There's a lot to read here. Cessnock took the lead through Jeremy Morton in the 11th minute. Moments later, Aidan Palozzi scored for Cookshill. Cookshill came very, very close to conceding an own goal. It was, I don't even know what it was. They've just chipped it back towards the keeper or something. It's nearly bounced in the net. Adam Gunster in goals. Luke Alexander scored for the home side to put them ahead in the 21st minute, and it was added to 10 minutes later by Thomas Spare, the winger. and Sparre made it 4-1 on the break. At the break. Before the break. Not on the break. Well, he probably was on the break. He's a very pacey attacker, but what I mean here is it was half time. Let's move on. Wade Atwell scoring for Cessnock in the second half. A lucky goal. It just cannoned off the keeper, then off Atwell's chest to something and ended up in the net. He'll take it, I'm sure he will. Definitely not as good as his bicycle kick the last time I watched him play. Cessnock's regular goalkeeper Matt Zeckel was dropped in favour of Shannon Atwell, and Shannon was required to be on point a fair bit. He's definitely one of the bigger goalkeepers in the competition, I'm not going to lie there, but he's a good goalie for his size, I'll tell you that. Got a good boot on him too. But yeah, it wasn't his best day, conceding 7 goals. Jackson Pett scored Cookshill's 5th and seemingly put the game to bed, but Cessnock wouldn't go down. Mitchell Cox scoring at 5-3. Cookshill looking all over the shop, and I seriously thought Cessnock were going to come back. I thought it would end 5-5, maybe even 6-5 to Cessnock. Josh Bauer got sent off. Questionable call there. Bauer considered himself unlucky to be sent off. Emerson Augie scored and Thomas Sparre got his hat trick. Just wasn't Cessnock's day. Few comments to make here. First of all, a positive one, Sparre. This guy's good. I'll tell you that right now. He's probably the fastest player in the whole New FM competition. If he's not, he's definitely in the top 5. Cessnock, there was one point the ball went over the top or something. It's gone through the line. He was with his defender, and then next thing you know, he's 5 metres away from his defender, one-on-one with the keeper. A very, very fast player. And there's some wingers out there who are fast, pacey, same thing. They're pacey, they're skillful, but they can't finish. Thomas Sparre can finish. He got 3 goals in this game, and he's one of Cookshill's best players. And with Jackson Pett on the opposite flank, Cookshill's counter-attack, their attack going forward, Cookshill United is one of the best teams in this competition. Defensively, at the moment, they're one of the worst. Let's not sugarcoat it. Defensively, yesterday was all over the place, and Coach Blake Glennie, not Gleany, Glennie, how I haven't noticed there's 2 N's in it all season, been spelling it wrong, been saying it wrong. Blake Glennie was absolutely furious with his side, and it was well deserved because they were playing like crap. I like being straight to the point. One of the players spoke back to Glennie, and it was ugly. I'm not going to lie, anyone who was there would have known that it was very ugly. A lot of swearing, very, very, very loud. I was under the grandstand. It was echoing, bouncing back off the wall of Newcastle High School and coming back. That's how loud it was. And I'm going to say it now, I'm not really in a position to badmouth coaches or whatever. Blake's a very serious coach, and he's a very good coach, but I even said to him he's got to keep a lid on it. A few complaints from Cessnock supporters, and I'm sure they've heard a lot of that at Cessnock too, but in my opinion, there's some coaches out there that really sometimes should keep it behind closed doors, and this was just ugly. I'm not going to lie. And on a different day, Blake could have been sent off. It's very difficult for me to say this, but the game threatened to boil over a few times. I thought the refereeing was questionable at times. Heavy challenges for both teams. It was a really fiery game, and I'm I was sort of surprised there wasn't a bit of a brawl. I'm not going to lie. It was a serious game of football. Let's talk about Cessnock. They've still got 3 or 4 guys out. I was talking to Steve Thompson, the coach, before the game. They haven't had a full strength squad since round 1, so he's definitely keen to get some players back in. 4 goals, not too bad, but you know, it's a loss. Tomo's, if Blake's a serious guy, then Tomo's probably also a serious guy. He's not as loud though. I think if need be he'd probably be as loud, but Tomo's definitely a serious coach, and he'll have the Cessnock guys sort of prepped for their next game. They're down there at bottom of the league, you know, they've got to get some results going, and Cessnock, they'll win games this year, you know. They've got some decent players, but across the board, I was talking to a few Cessnock guys. It was really good to get to meet a fair few people from Cessnock, a few of the Zeckles. There's definitely a few of them. I think I spoke to all of them actually yesterday. Cessnock have got to be serious about their training. I've heard some things. I don't want to comment too much, but I've heard that their training sessions aren't as serious as some other clubs. I've heard that sometimes they don't get enough people to training, and this is across all the grades. And look, in this competition, you're not going to win games unless you're training. It's that simple. Look at Kahibah with their CrossFit and training sessions. Very serious club. Cooksill's training sessions are very serious. I've been to those and watched. Most teams serious about their training, and who knows, Cessnock might be. I might have just been ill-informed, but I've been told by 1 or 2 Cessnock players, and I think even one of the coaches for the lower grades. I think Cessnock, with what they have, they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, and they don't have the player base that clubs like Cooksill, Lake Macquarie, Kahibah have. But there's definitely a place in this league for Cessnock City. They have a very proud history since 1907 or 8. I think it might be 07. And they're a passionate bunch up there in Cessnock, but it is a rugby league town, let's be serious. Rugby league is their focal point, but the football side, they're passionate guys, and it'd be good to see them get a few wins. I don't want to see any teams not win any games in any grades, you know. I like Cessnock, I really do. Cooksill, this wasn't good enough. You score 7 goals on another day, you know. Let's be serious. They let a depleted Cessnock side put 4 past them. Cessnock lost to Toronto last week. Cooksill beat Toronto 7-2. Based on that, Cooksill shouldn't be conceding 4 goals to Cessnock. That's with respect to Cessnock. Cooksill's inconsistent at the moment. They've got a trial match against Adamstown midweek, which I'm going to go watch, and I'll take a keen interest in, because I don't know how it's going to go, but Cooksill have on paper a very, very strong squad, and they just need to work very hard during the games and not drop off. It's a coach killer, honestly, what happened yesterday, and it had to happen, because it wasn't good enough. You know, you want to see clean sheets, you don't want to see 4 goals let in. If they played Kahibah, Lakes or Wallsend yesterday, they would have been smashed. Maybe not in the first half, but the second half effort defensively, it was all over the shop. It's got to be improved. But at the end of the day, Cooksill won. They were the winning team, 7-4, and they move to 2 wins and 2 losses, which, looking at their fixtures with Wallsend and Kahibah, you know, they beat Toronto, they beat Cessnock. That's what they should have done. with respect to those sides. Putting 7 past both those teams. They've got the bye next week and then South Cardiff the week after, which is a game that in my mind they should win and they will be aiming to win. And I think Cooks Hill have just got to be more convincing with their performances. They're just one of the, on paper, of course I'm going to say this, I play at Cooks Hill, but on paper Kahibah have the best side in the comp, but Cooks Hill's lineup, Palozzi, Pett, LA, Luke Alexander, Matt Williams up front, Kaya Roth when he's on his game in goals, Mal Hinchcliffe, there's so many players. I'm probably missing some. I can't think of everyone off the top of my head, but one of the best teams in the comp. They shouldn't be inconsistent. I think that's what's killing them at the moment. Consistency and complacency. The 2 C's. Thomas Spare, man of the match. This guy's just really good. Very, very good player to watch. So right, we move on to something, if there's anything. We'll have a look at the league tables. Whether I edit them into the video or not is a good question, but Belmont-Swansea top of the league in first grade, Kahibah second. Actually, let's not go through the tables, that's a bit much. It's already gone 56 minutes, I can see that, but next week, let's move on to next week. I don't need the iPad for that. Next week is Belswans versus Kahibah on Saturday, top of the table game in first grade. I'm not going to lie, I'm very, very keen for that game. I mean, look at the players like Josh Hall, Joel Shearer. Joel Shearer? Yes, Joel Shearer. Josh Sutton. I'm trying to name all these Belswans guys. Their whole team at the moment is good. Kahibah, they've got the best team in the competition, so this is it. Nobody can stop Belmont-Swansea. Nobody can stop Kahibah. They're going to clash next Saturday, and I know there's a game with South Cardiff and Toronto, but if you're not involved with South Cardiff or Toronto, with all due respect to those guys, get to Blacksmiths, because this is going to be a classic game. I can't wait. Very, very excited for that game. Even in 19's game, Will Dundas against the likes of Goodacre and Hughes and Chaplin, Wills, Brock Turner. There's more to Belswans than Will Dundas, let's be serious. Connor Bryson's good in goals. Just forgetting names at the moment, I'm not going to... Joel Nicholson's in form, Lachlan McMaster's in form. Just really good footballers from Belswans and Kahibah. It is a bit of a derby, it's fairly close compared to, say, Belswans and Singleton, or Kahibah and Cessnock. I'm trying not to put myself to sleep. I am genuinely excited for that game. I'm just very tired at the moment. 17's game will be good too. Belswans versus Kahibah. Some good players there. And then Sunday, if it doesn't get any more must watch than that, it is Wallsend versus Cessnock, and I can tell you right now, this could be fiery. I'm not going to lie. There's anyone who knows Wallsend and Cessnock will know that there's 2 players, Gottschab Shalava and Jason Zeckel. They left Cessnock. They've gone to Wallsend and they're going to be playing Cessnock, and there's definitely going to be there'll be some banter, and hopefully it's just that. I don't know, it could get a bit itsy bitsy. Whoever's refereeing will be in for a tough job in the 23s, I'll tell you that much. Some hard feelings from both sides here. Results, the result is a very, very passionate game of football for any onlookers there, and even the 17s game is desperate football at its very best. Wallsend are improving every week. Cessnock 11-2. You know, what can I say? This week is where Wallsend 17s get their first win, I believe. It's definitely going to be a very hard-fought game. The 19s is where I think Cessnock will get their first win. The Wallsend 19s are just depleted with injuries. As I said, 23s needs no further thing there. Just throw the name Godshab Shalava out there. You either love him or you hate him. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fan of Gotcha, but I know there's definitely some passion on both sides. Gotcha will want to perform against his old club. He'll want to prove a point. But yeah, this is going to be I don't remember, I'll say this right now, I don't remember ever going to a 4-game New FM match day and being mostly excited about the 23s game. It's most of the time it's first grade, let's be honest, maybe 19s, 17s here and there, but it's not very often a 23s game on paper looks this good. This looks like a very, very good game. Get there is my advice to the Gardens, that is. First grade it's going to be tough for Cessnock. Wallsend, point to prove. Wallsend have not been good in the last 2 weeks. They've won the games, but they haven't been clinical enough for my liking. They haven't been the side that last year, you know, the side that went to Lake Macquarie and beat them, 6-3 or whatever it was in the semi-finals. Josh Rufo's side have got more in them, and they'll want to beat Cessnock, and big upset if Cessnock win, but definitely big weekend. So tired. An hour and 2 minutes. 11 o'clock at night. Gets longer every week. I don't know where this last 20 minutes has gone. It's just gone on and on and on. Maybe I've just got to shut up. That's what I've got to do. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there that are happy about that. That's pretty much it for Newysports TV this week. 2 big games next week. FFA Cup Wednesday night at Thornton Park, Thornton versus West Wallsend. I probably won't be there for that. I don't know, it's only the one game, it's all the way up at Thornton. It's not that far, but, you know, cup football, I don't know. I will see Thornton play in 2 weeks. I'll be at Thornton Park versus Wallsend. Looking very forward to that. And then that same weekend, April 9th, I'll be watching South Cardiff at Cooks Hill. So the 2 teams that I've yet to watch in all the grades is South Cardiff and or Lakes as well. South Cardiff and Thornton, I've yet to watch them, so I'm looking forward to that. And despite saying that I'm not going to be at many Lakes games, I will be there in round 8, I believe it is, against Cooks Hill, April 23rd, April 24th. It's on my calendar, I'll tell you that. That's pretty much it for Newysports TV this week. I almost forgot the name of the show. That's not good, is it? Thank you to those who donated to the Newysports donation 10. I wasn't going to carry it around the ground, I'm not like that, but it was good to get a few of the committee guys at the clubs and whatnot to sort of chuck in a few dollars. Couple generous donations for Cooks Hill, which it helps, you know. I'm not in this for the money, but I'm not going to lie, it's helpful to get a bit of the money back from the camera and the speaker and whatnot. Okay, I'm just going to sign off because this is just going on and on and on and on. This has been Newysports TV, episode 12. I'm Ty Stedman. I'll see you next Monday. Happy Easter, and see you then.